about yourself and what makes you qualified to be a mayor. Tell us about yourself and what makes you qualified to be our mayor. And first we'll begin with Gary Marsh.
And time is 2 minutes?
2 minutes. Okay. 3 minutes for this one.
3 minutes. So I really feel I have several things that really have prepared me and make me qualified to be the mayor of Modesto. First of all, I think it's important that I'm a military veteran. I served 7 years on submarines during the Vietnam period. Went out to sea with 140 guys, submerged for 70 days at a time, never seeing the sun. But I learned through those times that you really needed to understand people and work with people, regardless of what their background was, what their social or economic status was, what their ethnic or religious status was. I learned to work with people, and we depended on each other for our lives. It didn't matter what label that was on you. And I think that that's important. I bring that to today. And I think that makes me more understanding of people and being able to work with people. Secondly, I'm a long-time successful small businessman. I've been running McHenry Bowl, operating and owning it for 25 years. When I bought my business, the core part of my business was league bowling, 80% of it. And it reduced over the next 15 years down to 40% of our business. Yet every year for 25 straight years, I've increased revenues. And I've done that through changing our business model, looking at ways to improve business, innovative processes. And I think that that is something else that really is unique. A third thing, I bring an understanding of regular people that nobody else has ever had, I think, running for mayor of Modesto. I see our business has over 7,000 different customers every week, from children to very age. That's not 3 minutes. Okay, and I think I have a unique understanding of the needs and problems and everything else that the people of Modesto, the citizens of Modesto, encounter. And finally, with my wife and I, we have been long-term, dedicated members of helping Modesto, involved in all different aspects of Modesto, from community hospice board that I'm on, for CASA, which takes care of foster children in the court system, through PAL and DARE that really helps for underprivileged kids. All those things we've been involved in, and we've done hundreds and hundreds of support for nonprofits. So I think that that makes me uniquely qualified for being the next mayor of Modesto.
Thank you, candidate Zlotkin.
What's happened in Modesto, and to anticipate it, has been a challenge for many people. But let me give you a little background of why I think I am qualified, very qualified to be mayor. Is one, it's called vision. In 2004, while the economy was booming and things were moving along, the stores were full, unlike now. The shopping centers were full. You drove down McHenry Avenue, the stores were largely full. You went downtown, the offices were largely full. The restaurants were doing quite well. In fact, they were expanding all the time. At that kind of an environment, I took a look at things and determined that we were in for a correction. I went home and I told my wife about it and said we must prepare our business if we expect to survive. So we did. We sold a lot of things in order to be where we are right now. I told my partners, had to convince them, because I was in a large partnership at the time. During that partnership, we had about 55 subcontractors that employed hundreds of people at a time. And I managed those individuals. So I'm used to management of large companies. But after we made corrections, my point is, we made corrections in order to adapt. The crash came in 2007, and it did not affect me. And I warned people about it and said, be prepared, because after every boom, there's a bust. So I look at that now, and I look at where we are in this this time of things and realize we're still not fully prepared for what our future is holding for us. And we need to be looking to the future, not just looking to where we are right now. We're not going to get out of this thing in just a couple of years. As I said, the model of recovery is not the model of the recovery in the past. It's going to be a different model, and we do not have the opportunities that we had in the past to expect that we're going to be pulling out of this thing in a short time. In fact, we have had a double-dip recession in our area, in my opinion. And we're on the verge in the next 2 years of having a triple dip if the dollar should get strong. And because our major commodity will then be affected. And we're not prepared for that. We've not diversified our industry. We've not done what we need to do. And it's that vision of the way things can be and should be in our community to be prepared in the future. And that's what my candidacy all about. Real quick, this is my vision. What do you see, a canal? Some of you probably way back there can't see it. That's not what I saw when I looked at it. I'm wondering why we're not building linear parks like they do in other areas. That's not acceptable to me. Don't think we can do it in Modesto. That's Briggsmore Canal. I'll pass this around so you can see it. Here's one side making it a fix. I've talked to MID about making these kinds of things, and we can do it. Someone will come and pass these around if you'd like to look at them. It's just an idea about what we can do in Modesto in changing the status quo and changing things.
That's a little kids are falling in the ground.
Thank you. Candidate Ariola?
What's the leadership that I provide with organizational skills? I also ran for presidential in 2008. 2005 I ran for governor. So I'm affiliated and associated with a lot of people that are in office already through the Democratic Party. And I provide leadership to the Democratic Party in the local sector in order to help with the recession, since in order for you to be able to pass a bill or pass a measure in order to get more money for the communities and the professional careers and the students and all the budget cutting, you have to be able to be well known throughout the Democratic Party. And there's a Republican in office right now. There's 2 candidates. So as a mayor, you can obviously understand that passing bills and getting money for grants for your community, you need to have that kind of power. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I think you have to know a little bit about